There is this phrase in cultural language, it insists upon itself. It is rather clever. At immediate proximity seemingly a meaningless loop in itself, and at some distance, an implication of a thing showing its own shine by itself. The shiny little phrase has no real bearing on what I think of this morning, other than the word, insistence. Apparently God has given us power to create wealth. On the one end, for us in the light of truth, we engage in continual need, and at the same time, we admit our power to create wealth. But how do we use this power? There is the power of the willpower, the will itself. I will it into being. I focus on it, and will it into being. Now this process requires the little condensing offered by focus and its cousin, purpose. I want a specific thing. When we release, by force of will, the thing we want, we need to give it material to feed off. It needs substance, a material to build the thing into reality. This material can be a visual specific thing, a picture of a house in the place we want to live in, a visual image of the amount in our bank account, and so on. Fourthly, the process requires what we can call grounding. Grounding here refers to connecting the dream to something real. Remember the creative field, the particles, as it were, that forms the things of our mind and will, requires and likes actuality, the feeling of realness, like the ground itself. Which is also to say we don't just keep the dream of the thing in far-off fantasy land, where it will float away in empty clouds. One way to provide the grounding to connect to realness is to feel connected to the earth. I walk my dog in a little trail outside, I feel the trees, in realness, I feel the moment, in stillness and realness, I feel the moment of now, a very present now. And I feel all this in the context of the thing I create by my will. Gratitude of the moment, towards God, also helps, in the little steps above of grounding. Because gratitude contains the presence of now, and now contains actualness. Fifthly, we need the ingredient of what we can call scope of mind, or scope of vision, which is to say give the dream wide wings, and as well, the believe in wonder and possibilities. When we walk in the way of wonder things becomes possible. When we walk in the world of concrete, of things made of steel and rust, then things become impossible, and in this way of wonder is also hope and faith. Next, we need an insistent point in space-time. We can imagine a sort of flag or spike, or whatever that we peg into the middle of the field of the cosmic space-time. The image here does not matter. The insistence point is our own insistence of mind and determination, a sort of faith and rest, a sort of knowing that it will be, that it must be, that I sit over the dream I had willed, with relaxed and determined insistence. Without the insistence point in space-time the seedling in the created field may wither. And perhaps a last point here, we also need to have patience, give the thing its space, give the thing that forms its own time. The dream, or manifestation of the dream, needs time and slowness and darkness, which is to say, without our speed of time, or impatience. We need to give it its own room. Also another thing, which I actually learned from someone else, who had said, don't ask where it comes from, or alternatively, don't demand to know how it will manifest in your life. There is truth to this idea. It is true because our demand to understand where it comes from closes the gate of the impossible becoming possible. Which is to say, again, give the impossible its own room, and stay out of this room. The impossible will become possible, the rivers in the desert, when we must leave microscopes, our own understanding as it were, on the side. The microscope may kill the dream. Anyway, I will stop now, because I can't seem to stop.